State knock down shots here tonight.
Utah will have the size advantage tonight, making a change to their starting five. And 6'10" forward Jake Laline getting his 6th start of the year into the hands of Mike Sharp Jumps. And this is the big fella Lawson Lovering. It's going to have to be a factor for the Utes to get this win. While Lane trying to drive on Bryce Thompson. Madsen probing and looking for a high percentage shot. It's going to go to the line. And this is where Utah really struggles on the season. They are one of the worst free throw shooting teams in college basketball.
But I will say this, Gabe Madsen, if he wants to free himself up during conference play, show that you're willing to get to the paint. Did it right there as Oklahoma State ran him off that three-point line. That is a positive in my mind to start for Madsen.
Yeah, and they are able to draw foul number 1 on Abu Usman, who was the ultimate factor in that Big 12 win against Kansas State on Tuesday night. Also, for Craig Smith, he has preached all week. Shot selection has to be better, specifically with Gabe Madsen. That was high percentage.
Well, you know his teams are going to share it great. And it's not just 1 or 2 playmakers. They do it collectively as they're second in the country in assists.
Khalil Brantley back into the starting 5 for Oklahoma State. Arturo Dean got his first start Tuesday night. He's a little sick under the weather. Not sure that would have made a factor in this starting 5 because Brantley was electric off the bench. Lovering inside, and solid defense by the transfer from Texas Tech, Robert Jennings.
But that's a matchup they should continue to go against. That's a high percentage shot, Lovering over the 6'7" Jennings.
And that's Usman, his first attempt, coming off a 27-point performance. So in 2 straight games as his first double-double as a member of Oklahoma State. And he has a Cowboys scoring high, 27 points the last time out. There's the head coach of Utah, Craig Smith, former head coach of South Dakota, then Utah State, trying to get this proud program back to the NCAA tournament. Really, first off, just find their footing in the Big 12.
Yeah, really good basketball coach. Tremendous pedigree. And as he said, hey, bottom line is we are 0-3 at this point. But you have to keep perspective when you play in this league. A lot of good teams would also have been 0-3 at this juncture.
Sharp Jumps drops it, a.k.a. Mongolian Mike, was born in Arizona, moved to Mongolia, grew up there before returning to the States for high school basketball. And he's on the board quickly.
A lot of length for Utah. Big lineup started tonight, and you can tell at both ends of the floor. We'll see how that affects Oklahoma State.
Here's Jamyron Keller. Maybe got away with the walk. Brantley, the kick out in the open 3 off the front iron for Jennings. Asar wants to run. Euro step in the paint, and he's going to go to the line. Ezra Asar is probably the one player on this Utah roster that's the most willing to do that and attack the bucket. And Steve Lutz knows that. Talked to us about the scouting report with Asar. He said that you always have to know where the Madsen twins are at all times, but it's guys like Asar who ultimately could be the X factor in a game like this.
Yeah, obviously you don't want to let those 2 get going, particularly Gabe with his prolific scoring ability. But he talked about Asar and also Lovering.
Yeah.
Mentioned to him what a great piece that he is, his size, his skill. This front line for Utah, Steve Lutz certainly understands. I mean, there are a lot of pieces. There are 6 players in that front line that do something a little bit different for Craig Smith. Certainly can pose problems for you at both ends of the floor.
And how about that? A 4 start from the charity stripe for a team that really struggles there. Brandon Newman checks in. He came a 1,000-point score on Tuesday, and that's an offensive foul against Oklahoma State. Cowboys now have 6 players with 1,000 career points. A lot of them coming from different stops. One of only 5 teams to be able to say that. Here's the foul.
Yeah, I guess they get Brantley right there. That's a good job of selling it by Gabe Madsen. Not much contact.
Inside the Lovering, back cut by Asar. Beautiful ball movement by Utah. Great start.
What a great start by the Utes. And you can see if they are comfortable out on the perimeter with their size where they can see over the top and the way they move it, they will pick you apart.
And really, the name of this game for the Utes, shot selection, and it has been fantastic.
Yeah, there's Lovering right there, and that's a big reason why Craig Smith and, as we mentioned, Steve Lutz complimented the play of Lovering. This Utah team seems to play well together, very connected when he's out on the floor. There's that second in the country in assists for the Utes.
Can they hold on to the basketball? That was the issue with the loss against Iowa State. At a season high, 18 turnovers, leading to 25 points. And Waleed nearly came up with that. 5 on the shot clock for Brantley. Pushes to Chichi Avery, baseline in traffic. Sharp jumps, held ball. And so that will stay with Oklahoma State, but just 0.2 on the shot clock.
Here's the drive right here from Avery. Look at Lovering. That's textbook right there. That is straight up and down, perpendicular to that ceiling. Excellent defense and rotation.
Got to look for a tip here with 0.2. Your only shot, that's not going to work. That was Devontae Davis checking in. Transfer from Arkansas. 5th-year player. Less than 10 minutes in back-to-back games for the first time since the non-conference portion of his freshman season. Again, a 5th-year player having to learn new roles for the Steve Lutz team. The pressure from Oklahoma State, that's what they like. Waleed to Sharp jumps. Ezra Sarr working on Davis, a fantastic all-SEC defensive performer, and that's going to be a foul on Davis.
And that's a Sarr in a nutshell right there. The most physical player on this Utah team. You get the great ball movement, so the defense has shifted. And Davis, although a good reputation as a defender, not the size and strength of an Sarr. Sarr creating that contact right there, gets himself to the line at a higher clip than any other Ute.
Man, came into this game under 60% from the charity stripe, and that is a perfect start for him. Talk about a guy also that needs some confidence, need to find the rhythm. 5 of 22 from the field in his last 3 games. He's also been dealing with a lot. Missed the Texas Tech game for his grandfather's funeral. And this is as good as Craig Smith could ask for. 10-0 Utah. Oklahoma State has not hit a shot.
Watch how Utah is defending. They're just going to give a cushion on guys they don't think can hurt them from long range and use their size. They're going to be out on a guy like Chichi Avery and Brandon Newman. Everybody else, they're going to concentrate on containing. It's going to be difficult for Oklahoma State without good ball movement getting into the paint tonight.
And let's go back to Tuesday night against Kansas State. It was Usman hitting his first 6 shots, and they were right off the jump. They were going to him early, and he was effective.
And he was great, and Oklahoma State did a good job of finding him, but Kansas State also allowed concession of getting buried deep in the lane.
Sloppy pass, Lovering the other side with the flush. Get all of it, says Lawson Lovering. That's how they throw down in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Newman inside, and he draws the foul on Gabe Madsen. A 12-0 start for the Utah Utes.
Watch Lovering, 34. See him run the floor, continues to come, continues to come. There's a little communication. You see it right there. Nice job of using the dribble to gather himself. Ooh, so that he could go up strong right there.
He had the dunk face on, and the headband stayed on, which has been an issue for Lawson Lovering.
Well, I'm told, and I saw it here last Saturday night when I was here in Salt Lake, it came off once, so it's usually once or twice a game.
Strap that thing on. So Newman gets Oklahoma State on the board. And it was at the line where he was able to score career point 1,000 against Kansas State. So that is foul number 2 on Gabe Madsen. Most game situations, that's like the kiss of death for Utah. But he goes to the bench with no points right now, no shot attempts. It has been the other guys doing the work, and that's what Coach Smith has wanted.
But even when he doesn't make shots, you know, he struggled the 4 games going into Ames on Tuesday, but his reputation and the history is there, so he still stretches the floor.
Asar with the kick. Sharp jumps for 3. Almost had it. And Asar fights for the rebound, but into the midst of Robert Jennings. And we got a foul on that rebound. It's in. Lawson Lovering. Get to know him. The dude maximizes his minutes, and he can play above the rim. Case and point there. All Utah, 12-2.
Part of that is maybe his lack of scoring in conference. A couple things. He's been in foul trouble the 2 games on the road at Baylor and then at Iowa State. But you look at the game at Iowa State, he got more looks. I don't think that was an accident.
No.
And to me, assuming he can stay out of foul trouble, he's got to be out there 24+ minutes. I mean, he's that effective and that helpful to Utah at both ends.
That's the microwave for Oklahoma State. Chichi Avery can get hot quick. Also with Lovering, just needs the shots. You need to feed the man. After that 25-point performance, 8 shot attempts, that's it in 3 total Big 12 games. Asar, hard to the hoop, no, but it is an attacking approach here for Utah, a team that has scored 37% of their points from 3-point range this season. So they get very little from the free throw line and on 2-point shots. Jennings hard to the hoop, Lovering with the rebound. Here's Hunter Erickson.
And that's been a problem for Oklahoma State all season long. It's just those bunnies. That was Jennings on the Erickson contest.
That was a tough screen there from Lovering. Looked like a little elbow in there as well. No call. Asar with the finish.
So that is another reason right there, as we talk more about Lovering, to get him touches. That's his 3rd assist here tonight. He just sees the floor so well.
Avery. Up and in. 6 points now for Oklahoma State, and Avery's got 4 of them. Sharam jumps to Lovering. Great vision inside. Ezra Asar with the flush. So much for the bombs away approach. They're trying to rip the rims down.
Just keep on running it through Lawson Lovering. I mean, he is so skilled out there. What a great pass.
And now 10 points early for Asar. Lovering getting out on the big fella. And Brantley to the paint. Just forces it up. Great hustle by Avery. And here comes a 7-footer out to guard Brantley. Jennings will drive on Erickson. Mismatched with the size. Open 3 look. And cannot fall for Oklahoma State. Now 0 for 4 from outside.
Yeah, that length of Utah bothering Oklahoma State as far as finishing around the rim.
It's a Utah team playing free right now, Brendan. The vision, Lovering inside, Asar up to 12.
You cannot back off Lovering anymore. You have to get on top of him and pressure him as a passer. He's way too comfortable, and at 7'1", Lowell, I would assume, you and I aren't that tall, you can see
maybe on each other's shoulders. Now 5 assists for Lovering.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get out and pressure him. Just because he's not necessarily shooting the 3.
Chichi Avery, no good. And it's tough nose Hunter Erickson with the rebound. Started his career at BYU, hardly played. Went to Salt Lake City Community College. Shara jumps for 3 and has it. Mongolian Mike forces the timeout. And look at Craig Smith. The man is fired up. Selection. Not forcing the 3-point shot. That was only the 2nd attempt from a team that has 50 3-point attempts in a single game this season.
Well, this is all happening because of the big fella. Lawson Lovering, under control, playing off 2 feet right there. I mean, you just cannot give him free looks. I mean, he sees it so well, you're gonna have to pressure him if you're Oklahoma State. And then on this last make right here, you had Davis in transition matched up with Lovering on the block. Brandon Newman has to come from weak side and help, which is the right thing. And this is the end result. Right here, you see Lovering, Devo Davis on him. Newman's got to help. But that leaves Sharp jumps wide open on that weak side, catch and shoot. And this is a Utah team offensively that you have seen most of the season.
Balance, all about balance for Craig Smith. Felt like it was probably a little too dominated by Gabe Madsen in the start of Big 12 play while Madsen was looking for his shot. This is more of the approach that Utah's been looking for. Oklahoma State desperate for points here. Who gets them? Because Usman has not been a factor. Keller with the drive. Foul called on Keanu Dawes, his first after just checking in.
Well, Craig Smith told us this afternoon that they were going to, they're big anyway, this roster. 7 of their 11 players in the rotation are 6'8" or bigger. Oklahoma State only has 2 guys listed 6'8" or bigger. And on one of them, it's generous.
Yeah. He
said he was going to go big. Start there. See if the length bothered Oklahoma State. And it has at both ends of the floor.
There's Devo Davis, little swing pass. That's going to be off Utah as they're trying to feed Abu Usman. Usman coming off that 27-point performance. 0-2 start for him. In his first 6 in the win against Kansas State, including a 3. No Arturo Dean yet. Sick coming into this game. Usman trying to get on the board. Zach Keller, the strong defense. Miro Little was fighting him for the rebound. And another opportunity for the Polks. Here comes the old head, Bryce Thompson. Good to see him back. Saw him roll his ankle in the second half against Kansas State. Did not return to that game. We heard, though, from Coach Lutz, could have if they needed him.
Yeah, nice job of Usman going and screening right now.
Oh, there's the tight end. Off the mark from Caleb Lohner. Now Cowboys pushing tempo. That's where they're at their best. And that was not close, Brendan. That did not look like you shooting the rock back in the day in Stillwater. Lohner skip pass. Miro Little. Erickson for 3. Wide left. Lohner keeps it alive. Into the hands of Jamiron Keller. Keller and Keller right there. 3 of 15 from the field to start for Oklahoma State. Thompson drops it over Zach Keller. Beautiful touch.
You see it a lot, Roll, with Thompson. He hits the mid-range jumper off the ball screen a couple possessions ago. He gets one to go down, and he is a guy that can score in bunches.
Miro Little, member of the Finnish national team. He's got some upside. Started his career at Baylor before transferring to Utah. Keller rips the 3. So you go inside to set up outside, and now those 3 balls are starting to fall.
Well, you can live with that one if you're Oklahoma State. Keller,
that's his first
make of the year.
He's now 1 of 5 from outside. The response. It's Keller and Keller. Zach does it on one end for Utah. Jamiron on the next end for Oklahoma State. No relation, by the way. Usman got a piece of it. Polks love to run. Jennings got bumped by Keller, who's called for the foul. Utah up 24-13, but Oklahoma State starting to find a rhythm. 11-point lead for the Utes. Looking
national championships between these 2 programs. Obviously, Mr. Iba, back-to-back national champions at Oklahoma. And before you said no, I did not.
I was not even going to go there. Come on.
I did just.
You don't wear a belt when you play.
I barely missed that era.
No, you didn't.
Is that ever going to come back?
No,
belts?
Absolutely not.
They say things come back into style.
Yeah,
you keep all your ties over the years.
I don't know, man. I mean, I didn't think we were going to see Hunter Erickson, you know, with the compression shorts longer than the game shorts, but that has come back in. I mean, that's Stockton-esque, right? I mean, his first memory playing sports was at the Matt Harpering basketball camp when he was 5 years old. So that guy is all Salt Lake City. And there's the strong rebound by Keanu Dawes.
Well, Utah's had that great start, but obviously plenty of time for Oklahoma State. They've been a little bit better at both ends of the floor. Now, Lawson Lovering back in for Utah.
Brutal screens.
5 assists. Here comes another one for Erickson. They feel like he can get more shots off and be effective in traffic, and Little will not be able to save this, and it's going to be a backcourt violation. Now, ultimately, big picture, how surprised would you be if I told you the Madsen twins would have 2 total points and Utah would be up by 11?
Honestly, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that much.
And why is that?
Because the length of Utah. And if you look at Oklahoma State, not a big ball club. The only other team that had it was comparable in size was Nevada, out in Charleston. And I think it just naturally you would think that could cause them problems. So too could cause them problems. They don't get back and match up in transition. Keanu Dawes is another one of those guys you and I talked about before the game that really can provide some versatility for Utah.
I think there's a few players on this Utah team that nationally we still don't know about that have the upside. Miro Little, Keanu Dawes. Honestly, Lovering as well, as he has a fine defensive effort there against Chi Avery, former West Virginia Mountaineer. Patrick Sumnick pulls it down, and there is a 3-point attempt off the mark from Keller, and it's going to stay with Oklahoma State, at least the moment that it's overturned, and now going with Utah.
Yeah, here's Dawes right here. A little bit of a broken floor. Blows right by Avery, right to the rim. Utah plays with great pace. They do a good job. You know, we talk so much about their assists in the half court. They do a great job of advancing the ball up the floor in transition, as you saw right there.
So pace not always going fast as Wallin sets up Madsen for 3, and Gabe leaves it short. Dawes to Lovering. That is beautiful basketball, people. A little touch pass from big to big off the miss.
Well, Steve Lutz talked to us today. He said we got to keep Utah from having easy looks out on the perimeter, but rebounding was the #1 thing. Right there, gave up that offensive rebound off the missed 3.
Avery contested 3. He's been known to take those and hit those. Dawes was there. Little pushes to Wallin. Here comes Gabe Madison. The dump to Lovering. And it's going to go with Oklahoma State.
Well, you talked about it. I mean, this team shares it. They share it in the half court. They share it off misses. Utah playing well, up 15. A lot about, to us, so we know he's talking to his ball club about shot selection. And you're talking about Utah on the season has averaged 29 3-point attempts a game, which is 3rd in the Big 12. So they take a lot of them, and they should. They have guys that can make those. But shot selection, where are their opportunities? It's been in the paint. They've used their size to do that. And then conversely, they forced Oklahoma State, who does not shoot it great from 3, to take 9 already.
And look at that, into the trees with Dawson Lovering there against Avery. Thompson has the wide open look. And again, just can't get it to drop from outside. Oklahoma State now 1 of 10 on 3-point shots. Look, Gabe Madsen is a really good player. I mean, he's a really good player. But the question that Craig Smith implored an answer for is, can we get better looks as a team if he's taking less of those 4 shots? And I think the answer is yes. Drive against Little. And still fighting for that rebound was Thompson. Madsen will slow it down here. I've not seen his brother Mason trying to go up and under. Ran out of room. And tough drive from Brantley, and Wallin looks like he is hurt. He's called for the foul, and he's holding his hand. It was an awkward fall by Jake Wallin.
Well, an opportunity right here for Oklahoma State to get out and run in transition, which they need to score points. And yeah, you're right. Well, watch him come down. Is that right hand? Yeah, it falls.
By the way, Brantley was fouled about 5 times on that drive in transition.
That's Big 12 ball. I mean,
Utah has had to adjust to.
And they are. And you see Coach Smith right there. And it's a different culture and a different league than the Pac-12. Pac-12 league was just fine.
Yeah.
But this is a physical, athletic league. And then we talked about it from the start, Lowell. Utah plays at Baylor, against Tech here a week ago, and then in Ames.
Goes to Ames, like one of the most toughest places against one of the most tough teams.
So 3 teams that most likely will end up in the top 20 in the net when it's all said and done. And so
welcome to the Big 12, right? But at least that way you get the learning curve out of the way early, right? Get blasted early on. And in every one of those games, they played better. They did get blasted against Baylor, but had some good spurts against Texas Tech. Had that 15-2 run early against Iowa State to take the lead in the first half. So they are getting better.
But just your eyes when you watch the game Tuesday night tell you that they were more physically ready.
Yeah.
You know, which is the mental part of it.
So Wallin went to the locker room to get checked out. We hope everything is okay with his arm as Brantley goes to the line. He gets some points. As Asar, red hot start for him. And again, this is what he does. Ezra Asar, the transfer from East Carolina, gives him a dimension that Utah has not amplified enough to this point. That's attacking the basket. Here's Usman. 0 for 3, 0 for 4 now. The rim got in his way.
Well, nice spin move, but you have to be aware, and typically Usman in of where you are on the floor.
Sharp jumps, no. And 4.5 minutes without a field goal now for the Pokes. Brantley working on sharp jumps. Usman, 0 for 5 start for him. He was unstoppable Tuesday night against Kansas State.
Yeah, and I think Steve Lutz will get Usman out of there. I mean, he had it built in for himself to go over that left shoulder, but he didn't do it with strength. It was kind of a soft attempt at the basket.
Sharp jumps, the look off, and the finish off the glass. Mongolian Mike has another bucket. He's now up to 7 points.
Watch this. Sharp jumps. See, Brantley anticipates the ball screen, and he rejects it. You have to play him straight up right here. Watch Brantley go to his left. Oh, out of position. Usman doesn't rotate over.
And that ball fake just got Jennings enough.
But if you're being honest, these Utah guards that have great size shouldn't be able, without ball movement, to take Oklahoma State's guards off the bounce.
Andrea Vukovic checks in for the 4th time this season as Brandon Newman hits the 3. What do you read into Vukovic getting into the game?
Well, he had some spot minutes late in December. Big body. Obviously still get adjusted to this level of play. But he definitely has a lot of upside and can lean on the bigs in this league if needed.
Now Mason Madsen checks in for the first time. Ezra Asar on Jennings, the spin, and nearly the finish. Vukovic fighting for the rebound, and he is fouled by Lawson Lovering. That's going to put them in the bonus. 1-on-1 coming up.
And that's exactly what you want out of your young bigs right there, Lowell, is when they're in the game, be active, play with toughness, and play with energy at both ends of the floor. That's all that you can expect out of them. And immediately, it's like the basketball gods know. Freshman gets thrown in to a Big 12 contest, your team's down on the road, and the ball comes right to you.
So Vukovic to the line, 58% on the season. Again, just his 4th game. The native of Serbia turns 20 this month. And this is that. Good news, though, for Utah. Jake Wallin has returned to the bench. And the word from Utah, he's good to go. 12-point lead for Utah. Lovering with the drive and just bullying his way past Andrea Vukovic. That's Big 12 tough right there here in Salt Lake City.
And that's basketball intellect. So Lovering understanding personnel. Vukovic, the freshman, does a nice job. So he gets him right here. But the deeper Lovering gets to the lane, you as a big, you can body up. You have to stay strong and get a good base. He keeps retreating. Lovering feels that and just goes right at his chin.
Hey, the dude has a little swag, does he not? I mean, on that first Thunder dunk, you saw him barking a little bit afterwards.
It's all right.
That's a winning stat line. 6 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists.
Again, I'll say it. I mean, assuming he is not in foul trouble, he has to play heavier minutes, and you're going to see that as Big 12 season progresses. They are a much better team at both ends of the floor when he is in there.
And Craig Smith thought they were toe-to-toe against Iowa State when he was in the game. Newman inside the Vukovic. Back to Newman. Newman is the second leading scorer at Western Kentucky last season. Of course, Steve Lutz in his one-and-done season with the Hilltoppers led them to a conference title in the NCAA tournament. Here's Ezra Asar. Physicality inside. Newman holds his ground, and it is a Utah turnover. Oklahoma State just needs to keep chipping away, and it's going to start on the defensive end. But the issue all season hasn't been getting the takeaways, getting the offensive rebounds. It's been converting. Case in point right there. Shower of jumps nearly sent the roof off the Huntsman Center. Avery, the fake on Madsen. Another hesitation. He looks like the European out here with the Euro-style basketball. And finally, drawing the foul.
Well, Lawson Lovering. Boy, he's had a first half, hasn't he? 7 points, 2 of them are dunks, 5 assists. Oh my gosh. And if you run your offense through him, huh, Lowell?
You can still make Cheyenne. Really puts a day like this and what we're doing into perspective, does it not?
I mean, I've never seen anything like it.
That's Marcellus Avery to the line.
So, Lowell, Oklahoma State, still a lot of game left.
Oh, yeah.
But you have to win this final second. So you're down 15 coming out of the time. You have to win it if you're Oklahoma State. I mean, really, the defense has gotten better. Utah had 16 points in the first 5.5 minutes of the game. So that end has gotten better. What they haven't done on 9 offensive rebounds, they're not having anything to show for it. Only 4 second chance points.
Kick out to Shorts Erickson. Dawes, the back down against Avery. That is big against not as big. And Dawes wins.
Yeah, another guy that I like, another piece that I like for the Utes. We mentioned it earlier. You know, he has versatility. You can go really big with him at the 3. And he sometimes put him at the 4. And whatever matchup he has, he can take advantage. And he did. You mentioned the physical strength.
The lob, Sumnick cannot connect. Erickson. Dawes corner 3. Leaves it short. Bounce pass. Thompson up and under. And it's going to be a foul against Utah.
So here's Dawes. Isolated right there and spin. And I'm telling you, just a week ago, this team collectively, meaning Utah, much more physical. After the game Tuesday night in Ames and here tonight, you saw Dawes right there. And then the other end, probably a quick 3 by Dawes. Utah has to be careful, you know, how you let Oklahoma State back into this. Turning the ball over, quick shots.
Yeah.
Which goes back to what you and I talking about at the beginning of the game, that Craig Smith has emphasized, shot selection. Even though you're up well into double digits, you have to be careful as you close out the half on the offensive end of Utah of just going away from what's been so productive for you.
That's really the story of this game. Shot selection and offensive balance. It just hasn't been the 3-ball. They really worked to set that up, and they've done a beautiful job with that. The fact that you can have this kind of lead against a team coming off a win in Big 12 play, and the Madsen twins have 2 combined points, and they're both from Gabe from the free throw line, that's a really big deal.
And something that I haven't mentioned enough tonight, let's talk about them defensively. You know, Oklahoma State labors in the half court. I mean, that's not a secret. But what they have done is they've put Oklahoma State in the half court. They've sprinted back in transition defensively, worked inside out, done a really nice job. They've been really sound.
Dawes inside. Thompson went the other way. Usman there with the defense. And that was the missed free throw on the other side by Thompson after the lane violation, keeping it a 14-point lead for the Utes. 2:03 left to go here in the first half. Miro Little inbounding to Dawes. And Dawes, just such patience and control inside. And Keanu Dawes is racking up the points. Now the largest lead, 16.
That's an easy one. That was by design. Just get it into Dawes and take advantage of that matchup with Avery. That's just a rip and attack from the elbow.
Dawes has 6, Lovering with 7, Assar with 12, Sharp jumps with 7, and an and 1 for Chichi Avery.
Here's Avery, really talented. He shoots the 3 very well when left alone, so you have to get out there and contest that. He's missed a lot of bunnies at the rim. They've been able to get him near the basket, but he hadn't gone up with strength and finish. That time he does. Absorbs a little contact, and if you're Steve Lutz, hopefully that's a positive moving forward, because he has, along with his teammates at time, with their offensive rebounding, got in there. Just haven't been able to convert.
And a guy that's a rarity this day and age, who's really leaned into his role as a 6th man, playing in his 90th career game tonight. 11 starts total in his career. It's been all off the bench for Oklahoma State as he now goes to the bench. He's the 3rd leading scorer in D1 basketball that has not started a single game on the year.
Well, the talent is certainly there. And what Oklahoma State would like was just more consistency, not just offensively, but on the defensive end.
Here's a former Baylor Bear and BYU Cougar, Caleb Lohner. On the clock for Little, behind the back to the logo, leaves it short. Dawson offensive rebound. It's a fantastic offensive rebounding team, one of the best in America, as that goes off the hands of Mason Madsen, twin brother of Gabe.
Well, a big key for Oklahoma State tonight was rebound the basketball well, and they've done a great job against the size of Utah. Really been active at both ends, just not a whole lot to show for those offensive boards.
How big would it be if Oklahoma State could get this to single digits?
Yeah, especially since Utah has completely outplayed them at both ends.
Need 2 buckets and a stop to make that happen. There's 1. That's Jennings. And it's an 11-point game. Now you need a stop.
Yeah, and you're going to get the ball back if you get a stop right here. Great way for Oklahoma State to close out the half.
Usman nearly took it away. Lohner keeps it. Had his team to Erickson. Hesitation. Did not feel comfortable right under the bucket. Miro Little double teamed. Madsen passed up the 3. 5 on the shot clock. Back to Madsen. 1 on move. Madsen got hit. No foul. And now there's 8 seconds for Oklahoma State to make this into single digits going into the half. Long 3 for Newman, way off. What about that shot choice? There was still plenty of time, Brendan. To hold off Oklahoma State, had a chance to cut it down to single digits. Brandon Newman missed a long 3 at the buzzer. And it's a Utah 11-point lead going into the second half. Logan Lindo here with Brendan Manzer. What does Oklahoma State need to do to ultimately close this one down even more?
Well, right out of the gate, it's about this end of the floor if you're Oklahoma State. Can they afford to have Utah get off to a 12-2 run like they did to start the first half? If they settle in Oklahoma State defensively, they can get themselves back in the game.
It's great to see Jake Wallin back in the game. Went to the locker room to get his arm checked out after an awkward landing on a foul. And it's another setup from Lovering there.
And then Craig Smith goes back to that starting line. They average 6'9" in this starting 5 right here.
Jamiron Keller, no good. Can't get the roll here in Salt Lake City. And Usman now 0 for 6. Keller, the kick. Bryce Thompson, former Gatorade All-American. McDonald's All-American checked out. Gatorade State Player of the Year. 5 on the shot clock for Jamiron Keller. Pass Lovering, no! Denied by the flying headband. And Lovering was not ready for that one, but there's a foul against Oklahoma State. So there was a change to the starting 5 for Oklahoma State. We'll get into after this.
Yeah, right there, Keller driving it hard, but watch Lovering. See, he gives ground, understands his length that he can give a little bit of a cushion. Keller trying to create contact. Levering disallows.
So the change to the starting five for Oklahoma State, Arturo Dean, the transfer from Florida International, started for the first time against Kansas State as Jennings picks up the foul, is dealing with an illness. Khalil Brantley went back into the starting five, and we have not seen Arturo Dean to this point. No word if he is officially ruled out for this game. But you were talking about the most prolific steal artist, if you will, in college basketball, a no-go in this game. How does it impact OSU?
Well, it's most importantly a primary ball handler out on the perimeter that Oklahoma State can go to. But Craig Smith mentioned it today about Dean, how much he disrupts teams defensively with his ball pressure.
Like he's a wild man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a quote right there. Obviously, the depth, and he is one of Oklahoma State's most fierce competitors. Certainly gets after it on that defensive end, but enough depth for Oklahoma State that they should be able to overcome Dean not being able to play today.
Hang a banner. Utah is 9 of 9 from the free throw line. Brantley in the trees. Shot jumps. Was able to get that shot altered, and it goes off Oklahoma State. Utah basketball. What do you think of Mongolian Mike to start this game?
Man, see all the white jerseys in there. We talked about the size. Utah doing a great job of just walling up, going straight up and down defensively, and Oklahoma State very much bothered by that link today.
Beautiful touch. Ezra Asar inside. That's now 16 points for the first year Ute.
Your offense is just much better, Lowell. We touched on it at half. When you work inside out, work there first.
Levering with the hands, called for the foul. Number 3 on Big 34.
Paint points, 22 of these in the first half. There's Levering. I mean, that's a perfect pass. Nice job of Asar holding his position long enough to go get it.
And his head coach Craig Smith told us he's coming off his best practices back-to-back for this Utah program. Thompson along 2. And that is a foul on Levering, number 4 for the big fella. That changes things very quickly. Back-to-back fouls. Wow.
So you're going to get Usman being physical on that weak side rebound. Look at it right here. See 33? Yeah, Levering gets that hand in there.
Open for Brantley. He'll knock that down all day.
So mark that time. Got 18 minutes left, 43-26, Utah. That's when Levering goes to the bench with 4 fouls.
I'm marking that down right now. That was a layup to nowhere. Waleem trying to clean this one up. And we'll go to the line. This Utah program really likes the upside with Jake Waleem. He's only a sophomore, just down the road in Provo. Last season, he really hardly played. Scored less than a point a game. He's up to 5 points a game this year in 5 starts. But there was a lot of conditioning that he needed to get back in. That was coming off his LDS mission last season. And the more he gets in shape and condition, they're seeing it. These next couple of years, he could be a dude for this squad.
Yeah, and he's more than solid right now. Good decision maker for a big. A lot of those, it seems, for this Utah team. But he's made that natural, which good young players should, that natural progression from freshman to sophomore season. He's a really good piece. Was good here a week ago against Tech, 10 points in 24 minutes off the bench.
And he talked about it in the first half. Coaches love consistency. Usman corrals it under the basket, tries to palm it and put it back, and Keller hold his ground. Utah basketball.
Yeah, Usman again. And that should be, yeah, that should be a matchup right there on Keller that deep that he should finish. Well, he and Avery have had a bunch of bunnies combined.
That finally went down against Kansas State. That had been problematic in the games leading up to that one. Here's Asar. He has been as bright of a spot as possible for Utah. Usman gets the block there. But back to the point about Waleem, most consistent player on this team. They know every night they're going to get tremendous effort in rebounding. Turnover. And a travel call on Ezra Asar.
Utah right now doing a really good job in being physical with the Oklahoma State handoffs. Watch right there. You got to be strong with the ball if you're Bryce Thompson, and then Asar just not able to corral it before he put the ball on the ground.
Thompson was fouled there, and what he did after that travel call,
yeah, I know where you're going.
Went up, talked to the official, and did it as professionally and politely as you possibly could.
Well, I'm going to tell you why he didn't get the call, because in this league, if you're not strong with it, even if you get fouled, the officials are not going to call it. But if you go with strength, you'll get the benefit of the doubt.
Avery offensive rebound. Now he gets fouled, and this will go against Keller or Asar. That's going to be against Keller.
Boy, Avery has really pursued the ball on the offensive glass. 4 of those the first half. That's number 5. See a better job going up strong right there. And that was in the interior, but we're just talking about it with Thompson. You have to be strong with it in this league. Steve Lutz certainly understands that.
Wow. I love the way he described his relationship with Marcellus Avery. He says it's a working relationship. He knows that I'm not going to put up with his BS and knows he can't get away with it. We saw him against Kansas State, and they go back and forth at each other in the middle of the game. It's highly entertaining. Madsen trying to go baseline, the feed. Shara jumps, 4-3, and it's short. Sumnick with the rebound. But that play to me, that's a positive. That's Gabe Madsen looking to set up his teammates, which has been problematic with a high-volume shooter like him to the start of Big 12 play. Big question, can he get better looks for the rest of his team as Chichi Avery connects?
Yeah, strong move right there. Utah continues to just, when Avery catches at that low, defend isolated, but Avery much stronger attacking when he goes up here the second half than he was the first.
13 points for one of the best 6-men in college basketball. It's going to be a foul on Brandon Newman. And that will take us to the under 16 timeout. Utah with the lead, 45-32. Pokes trying to claw back into this one inside the Huntsman Center. And beautifully taught team.
Hey, in that picture, that red, white, and blue ball looked like one of those mini balls.
Yeah.
How big he was. But
it's a family with some size.
Yeah, Sharp jumps, really skilled. I mean, out front, handles it well, good vision.
Wallin and one, draws a foul on Sumnick.
And I'm glad Wallin makes the play there, because what I was going to say, there's some really good young players on this Utah team. Sharp jumps, Wallin, the sophomore we've been talking about. Miro Little, sophomore. Asar, a junior. Now this is a different era.
Yeah.
That's assuming you can keep all of them, but if you can, that's a pretty nice core to move forward in Big 12 play in years to come, hopefully.
This is the beginning of a 3-game stretch, as it's an and one on the other side by Bryce Thompson. That could be the most winnable 3-game stretch for both of these programs, which speaks to the significance of getting this win here tonight.
Yeah, especially for Utah. You played 3 of the toughest people really in the country.
And so I'd say foul on Avery after the missed free throw. His first. So little things like that, that's ultimately what keeps you from closing this gap even more. Wallin has to get it in to Madsen, who's still, you have to hit a field goal. The lob, he did it! Keanu Dawes looking for bodies. Newman, a little touch. Not quite as emphatic as we just saw from the transfer from Rice. Keanu Dawes was born here in Salt Lake City. His grandparents had season tickets. He wants it again! It's his world!
got some brother-in-law ball going on each end right now. A couple easy ones for both teams in the last 2 offensive possessions.
Dawes is looking possessed. That's not some Nick shot. So born and grew up here in Salt Lake City before moving to Houston. And Dawes is making 3 straight back-to-back-to-back dunks for Dawes. What would they say on NBA Jam? He's on fire.
Well, if you need any film to understand why you cannot allow Utah to be comfortable, because they share it great, they make the right play. There's Madsen getting out of the double team numbers.
Here's one.
That's Wallin.
There's
Oh
2.
my gosh, there's Dawes right there in transition. And then here's another one. That's a straight line drive from about 40 feet. For the game, 51% from the floor. Here's your last 3 possessions by Keanu Dawes. There's a lob in transition from Wallin. Straight line drive, easy money right there for Dawes and his strength. Drop jumps right here, the drive. Dawes finds a window. 3 dunks, 3 possessions. Utah 4-4, in fact, in their last 4 possessions, and starting to extend this lead. And it's important for many reasons, one of which, Lawson Lovering has been on the bench since the 18-minute mark.
Yeah.
And Oklahoma State has not been able to dip into Utah's lead while he is sitting over there.
Scored 18 total points the first 2 games of Big 12 play, 4 of 8 from the field. And then surprisingly, was only on the court for 2 minutes and 8. And talked to Craig Smith about it, said there was nothing there. There was nothing that popped up. It was just different lineup that they went with. And there's some head-scratching moments with the lineup leading up to this game, because you see this collection of talent that Utah has outside the Madsen twins is electric. Zach Keller to Wallin. Sharp jumps, huge size advantage here against Brantley. The handoff. And it's going to be an offensive foul on Sharp jumps.
Well, there was concerns for Oklahoma State coming in, and we've talked a lot about it tonight, Lowell, about the size of Utah. And you could tell the first couple of possessions, good call right there by the officials. But it has bothered Oklahoma State, and not just literally, but just the presence of it has spooked Oklahoma State on many possessions at the rim.
Think about those
tonight.
Hard screens by Lovering to start the game. He was sending a message from the jump. Here's Usman still looking to get going, and the first field goal made for Abu Usman, coming off a 27-point performance. He's now 1 of 8 from the field.
Yeah, and that was more assertive. Less hesitation right there.
BB pass. That's the first field goal for Gabe Madsen.
Just too easy. I mean, way too many easy looks without running any offense here the second half for Utah.
Gorgeous feed by Zach Keller. Off the foot of Brantley. Still plenty of time. Dawes jumps him. And trying to stay with the undersized matchup. Tough shot, awkward shot, but a foul is called. And that's going to go against Zach Keller. And that's number 4, so you got 2 bigs, and Keller and Lovering that both straddled with 4 fouls. Keller, a guy that's really picked up his play and has been at his best in the Big 12. You saw him with a career-high 12 points against Texas Tech a couple games ago. Usman to the line, misses. That kind of night for him. Avery will go to the bench. Robert Jennings checks in.
Yeah, when you struggle to score and don't really have an alpha offensively, which is the case with Oklahoma State. Now, they can piece it together. You saw it against K-State. Obviously, Usman poses a threat inside. A guy like Thompson and Chichi Avery is certainly capable offensively, but if you're not converting free throws, converting those second chance opportunities, you know, look, just to be honest, Oklahoma State has to do a better job of turning people over and then converting.
Yeah.
And then converting off the offensive rebounds. if they are not taking advantage of either, they're going to have a hard time beating people in this league, because offensively, they're just really challenged right now.
Yeah, they've shown that it will be a struggle to find consistent offense that is not set up by those turnovers and putbacks. And you had that little shrug there from Wallin as he put that one in, maybe a little kiss. And it's a 20-point lead. Kick out for Newman, contested by Dawes, still rattles it home. Cut the deficit to 17. Did that go, was there a little bank on that from Wallin?
I couldn't tell.
I think it touched glass. That was what the shrug was all about. Another chance for Jake Wallin. And gets the friendly husband center roll back to back. And it was defense there from Wallin, doing it on both sides. Gabe Madsen wants to run. The lob. Oh, goodness. Keanu Dawes putting on a show right around the rim. I was going to say, if he was going to throw that one down, I don't know what way is up anymore. But the ability to finish, Usman does have this in his game, and back-to-back games with three-point makes for Abu Usman. But Keanu Dawes taking over, making this his house. He's up to 14 points, only trailing Asar. The feed from Madsen, a guy that's gone from high-volume shooting to setting up teammates. That's going to make Craig Smith a happy man.
Well, he's been great tonight. 13 points you see right there on just 4 shots.
And for a guy that went to the locker room, Brendan, with that injury scare.
Well, in terms of Oklahoma State, I mean, if you think about it, you do some math.
No math.
They have, I'll do it for you. It's the only thing I'm good at is numbers. Oklahoma State scored 19 points in 8 minutes in a Big 12 game. And that to them was more than efficient, right? The problem is Utah shooting 77% from the floor prior to that miss. They're 10 of 13, and they're 8 of 10 inside the arc. So what is the message there? I mean, it holds true for every team in this league. You cannot take possessions off defensively. You have no shot. You have no shot to get back into a game. You have no shot to get yourself into grinder late on the road. You abandon that into the floor for any stretches, you have problems.
Toast. Caleb Lorner. Vision! Eyes in the back of his head, and Keanu Dawes was born to dunk.
This team, and it's been Dawes in a big way here in the second half. But when that ball gets to the heart of the defense to a big, high post, mid post, even low post, Utah has great cutting. And when they cut hard. Watch this right here. Into Loner, mid-post area, watch this cut. I mean, that's how you play ball, right there.
Safe to say they're more active offensively than you've seen recently?
Talking about
Utah.
Yeah. Ball's moving great. And here's the thing. Now, different defensive opponent.
Yeah.
But in Ames, 18 turnovers against Iowa State. What do they have tonight, Lowell?
Turnovers?
8?
Yeah.
7. It's amazing when you take care of it, especially as well as you move it and share it like Utah. That's just more possessions.
And some stellar defense from Jamiron Keller, and that's going to be off Loner. So next up for Utah, road trip to TCU. If Jamie Dixon turns on the film, which he will, what's going to be his reaction to the team he sees?
Don't let Utah be comfortable. I mean, it's not just their shooters. And you look at it, I mean, the Matsons haven't scored tonight.
No.
They're clipped. And Utah's been just fine.
And Wallin helps create some trouble, and that's going to be another turnover. Travel on Brandon Newman, who will make his way to the bench.
And what I mean by that is their bigs. And even if you're not concerned about, let's say, Lawson Lovering knocking down a bunch of trays on you, you have to pressure him when he catches it on the perimeter. You got to mirror the ball and pressure him because he's such an efficient passer. And you have all this great cutting. There's another cut.
The tight end tosses it out to Waleed. He doesn't need the backboard. Keeps on pouring it on. That career high keeps getting better and better. "16 points, bettering the mark he had against Texas Tech." Goodness, Brendan.
Roll right there, rotation, kick by Lohner. And that just was baiting Oklahoma State to help so you could find Waleed, who's had a heck of a night here tonight. That's 19 assists now for Utah on their 26 makes. 20.
Number 2 in assists per game. As Brantley to the line, leaves it short. Dawes with the rebound. And now they're having more success from the three-point line, but it was all set up by what they've done inside. And Bryce Thompson looked like a free safety for Mike Gundy coming over to try to take that one away from Caleb Lohner, a guy that played tight end for Kyle Whittingham.
And just look at Utah's size versus the lineup that's in for Oklahoma State right now.
Noticeable, huh?
You essentially have 5 guards if you count Avery, but you have 4 guards and a forward in the very least. I mean, it is a major discrepancy as you just look at them standing next to each other.
And Biggs, it can move. Asar had it stripped by Avery. And he's fouled. That's going to go against Oklahoma State on Davis.
See, to me, that's so 2 years ago in the SEC, Deville Davis
was a dude.
Was first team all defensive player. That was just an underneath inbounds play. The ball's thrown out, and it's a straight line drive right there. Now, if your reputation is a defender,
that can't happen.
That can't happen. It's been way too easy for Utah. Utah's played great, but Oklahoma State's helped them the second half with defensive breakdowns.
Well, remember, he left the team at Arkansas briefly last season. Was basically done with the game, so he's tried to rekindle that loving relationship with the game of basketball as Avery is there to get the block. Here's the kick to Brantley. Chichi Avery. That's that shot fake he's known for. Bryce Thompson lets it fly. The former Kansas Jayhawk, now turned Oklahoma State leader, drains that one.
Nice job of Bryce Thompson rotating over the top, making himself available right there with Avery.
Gabe Madsen off the screen. The BB pass to Ezra Asar. That's beautiful.
Madsen's played well.
Without forcing anything.
He's played the right way. That's his 4th assist. He's taken good shots.
And now, one of those situations with all the work that you've done, your three-point looks are probably going to get a lot less contested than what he's had in the Big 12. There's Asar. Asar has 21 points. But what Madsen has done, Brendan, you know this, he's allowed his other teammates to shine and have success. And Utah's probably better for that. Good from Avery. Thompson, offensive rebound. Put back is good. And you keep those three-pointers in the back pocket if you are Madsen. You know that game is still there.
When he has his feet set, and he has space, he has room, and he is terrific from there. But obviously he's at the top, at least right now, of every opposing team's scattering pool. They don't want to give him that room. And when he forces it, he's going to struggle. But he has played smart and intelligent and within his team here tonight.
From 19 shots down to 6 shots as Avery lets it fly. Did there have to be a conversation between him and Craig Smith to set up that discrepancy as Brantley is down hard?
Well, I think that's safe to say. I mean, he's had that with his entire ball club.
A hard fall there from Khalil Brantley, senior transfer from LaSalle. Asar was called for the foul, and we'll check on Brantley when we return. bad was this? Are they looking? Oh, it just got. So are they taking a look for a flagrant? So Brantley to the locker room. Can you show us one more time, please?
Yeah.
But anything you got, I just want to see is he. Oh, he just bumped him with his hip, right?
Previous play is under review.
Left hand too, they may be looking at, but I don't think there's anything there.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
initially I thought it was just a hit.
He didn't undercut him. He didn't. I mean,
there's a play they reviewed with Taman Lipsey today where he lost his footing, like slipped and undercut the dude going up for a rebound. It was scary. Oh, I thought he ran off. Okay, he's back. Okay. The only thing they could be reviewing, though, Brendan, is a flagrant, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, yeah. And
how are we coming back with this? Okay. It is a flagrant one. Wow. So 2 shots ball. Good news for Oklahoma State. Khalil Brantley is up. He looks good after that hard fall a moment ago. Initially, a common foul was called on Ezra Asar. They went to a review, and they have upgraded this to a flagrant 1 against Asar. What do you see here, Brendan?
Yeah, watch him right here at the last moment going by. Just hits him right there. That's upper hip, stomach area. That left. No play on the ball.
The play has been upgraded to a flagrant 1 foul on white 2. Black 5 will shoot 2 free throws. And Oklahoma State get the ball underneath the basket, shot clock at 20.
So not necessary, excessive in your estimation.
Yeah, it wasn't malicious, but any time you're in the air, you know, and you get hit, it can knock you off course. Especially there was no play on the ball right there from Asar.
So 2 shots for Oklahoma State and the basketball. Brantley does not connect. He's hitting at 76% on the season. And gets the split. Still will stay with the Cowboys. Asar has been electric. 21 points tonight. His career high is 25. And on the bench after that flagrant 1. Brantley to inbound. Here's Thompson in rhythm. Nice looking shot.
Yeah, when he can catch in rhythm, especially that mid-range roll, really good there when he goes straight up and down. Yeah, Oklahoma State down 21, but Bryce Thompson has definitely been better offensively in that win against K-State on Tuesday night, and then also here tonight. Looks more like himself at that end of the floor. Mr. Cowboy, he's seen a lot in his career in Stillwater. Here a little, maybe forced that 3 into the hands of Avery. This was around the time of year when Thompson went down with that shoulder injury last season that led to surgery and the end of his campaign. Newman, and that's going to be offensive. Miro Little was there. Well, Little did a great job of continuing to move his feet and be straight up. You know, we haven't seen a ton of Little tonight. Watch him right here. Yeah, you know, and when Newman couldn't turn the corner, instead of going on to the next play, shoves right there. Credit Little for that defensive effort. Well, Little started first 12 games of the year, came off the bench in back-to-back games, and only high praise from Craig Smith. He said he handled it like a pro, and he was good. Great hands there by Bryce Thompson. He's got the steal, looking to convert, rejected by Caleb Lohner. The man Thompson took it away from.
You know, Caleb Lohner's built a lot like you, is he not?
Sure. I tell you what, he's so athletic. I mean, anybody that can play high major college basketball at the level he does, and then, you know, I'm going to go play football for Utah.
After not playing in college or high school.
And then actually play and get snaps is impressive. But if you see him walk onto the floor, I mean, he definitely is a specimen.
He had 4 touchdowns on 4 catches for the Utes this season. Also blocked a field goal. Dow, it's a travel for a guy, Connor Dow, that has not played since December 8th. Amazing story here for Caleb Lohner. How about those 4 touchdown catches? 4 catches, 54 yards. They're all for touchdowns, man. And you think he's one of those guys that could at least get a tryout somewhere. There is a UFL as well.
Yeah, I don't know how that works, but he'll be in some training camps, or he'll be in one somewhere.
At least an invite to a mini camp to see what he can do. I was sure, though, hearing his story, especially going to school, high school ball in the state of Texas, as Little works on Dow, and we'll go to the line, that there was at least a high school football background for Caleb Lohner.
Yeah.
That's not the case. He was all basketball, which makes it even more remarkable. Because you hear those stories like, yeah, I used to play and I get back to it. Not the case. And if there is a dude on this roster ready for the Big 12, it's him.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was thinking. You know, 2 rounds through it at Baylor. So he played for a terrific program and a coach that as good as anybody in the league at navigating the Big 12 schedule. You know, it's interesting. You know, I was here a week ago as Lohner gets a rest and asked Coach Smith about him, and he said, no, not necessarily off the floor is he super vocal, but he's been one of our most vocal basketball players when you're on the floor, which is important too. But yeah, just those experiences, right? I mean, this team started off 0-3.
Yeah.
But you have to keep perspective because you played 3 of the best teams in this league. And if you get down on yourself in this conference, I mean, it can go bad for a long time. But they've responded tonight, and a guy like Lohner understands how it works.
Keller for 3. Javon Keller now up to 6 points. Second year with Oklahoma State, a lot of new faces, and he was with Mike Boynton's team a year ago out of Ellison High School in Texas.
And of those guards for Oklahoma State, I think that he has a lot of upside.
That does not count. It will be a foul, though. But do not count the bucket by Shara Jones. And the crowd disagrees. Yeah, if it was initially called with a bump there on Dow.
Yeah, up the street at the Delta Center, that's good, though. Really unique player. A lot of unique players on this roster.
Got a guy from Mongolia. Got a guy high-pointing footballs for Kyle Winningham, scoring touchdowns. A dude on the Finnish national team. I mean, the stories keep going. And a lot of international flair here for Craig Smith. Some of these guys still young and waiting to get on the court. Karama's played a little bit this season. Final 4.5. Oklahoma State still has their dudes out there. Usman, no, it's going to be a goaltending call against Lawson Lovering, who has not played since that 18-minute mark. You wanted us to make a note of the 18-minute mark when he went to the bench with 4 fouls.
I mean, it's easy to bring that up because you know, what occurs? Does Utah continue to play well, or does Oklahoma State dip into that? And it was the first thing. So, you know, it's interesting. So Lovering picks up 3rd and 4th quickly. It was obviously
back-to-back.
Yeah, and the dominant force in the first half with his scoring and distributing. And then your leading scorer in Gabe Madsen.
He's got 4.
Yeah, I was just making sure. So 4 points, 1 of 6 from the floor. The point is, as a team, if you play the right way at both ends of the floor, you defend, you rebound, you take care of it. Winning formula.
Yeah. Dawes got the offensive rebound. Lovering cannot convert. Now they slowed down a little bit from the line after a hot start, as that is finished by Devontae Debo Davis. But I think they will take 15 of 20 from the line, considering they went into this game at 63%.
Well, 2 things. That, the 75% shooting percentage from there, but the fact that they went 20 times. It's not a team that goes very much. Outside of Asar, they don't have one perimeter player that goes there more than 3 times a game.
The lob forced to Dawes. It's been working all night, so why not force it? Davis, the toss to Jamiron Keller. Physical finish. No whistle, and it will be off. Shot Johnson will stay with Oklahoma.
I mean, it was already a grind in the 18-game schedule. That's dangerous right there.
Into the hands of Thompson. Erickson tried to take it away.
And the thing is, there's obviously some discrepancy between teams and some tiers in this league. But there's not a bad team in the 16. I mean, literally, someone plays well, and an upper-tier team in the league does not. And they can get beat.
That's a hack by Avery. Late whistle there against Lovering.
And that really, you and I have been in this league a long time. That is what has made the Big 12 over the last 6-7 years the overall best league. And I think, if you're being objective, you look how good the SEC is this year. But it's their depth in the SEC. That's what the Big 12 has always had. The bottom are good teams, and you put them in other leagues, it's a whole different story for them. That's what makes this so tough.
As you take a look at the net rankings and most of the teams in the top 100, you talk about the bottom teams having a shot to knock off the big dogs. When you get the best teams together, those games are classics, like Iowa State today. At Lubbock today. Are you kidding me? That comeback, Brendan, forcing overtime, then coming back again in overtime to win.
And I kept thinking, watching that game, TJ Otzelberger, the job that he has done at Iowa State, and Grant McCaslin, who I think is a very good basketball coach. These are guys that aren't brand new, right, but are still relatively young as coaches. Just so many right decisions and correct buttons pushed in that game. I mean, it was a great college basketball game. If you didn't see it today, go back on the ESPN app and rewatch that game today, especially late down the stretch.
Talk about the transfer portal, and TJ is bringing a lot of guys from outside in, but what they ultimately have is Taman Lipsy, a dude that understands and is connected with the
He loves Ames. He loves Iowa State. His parents are employed at the university, which I can relate to. No, he's playing for the Cyclones.
But in this era, you need at least a dude like that, someone that knows what it takes and what the DNA of the program is about. 2 minutes left here at Salt Lake City. Inside Huntsman Center on a night that has been clearly dominated by Utah, and scary moment as Hunter Erickson flips over Connor Dow. That's playing with reckless abandon.
And he comes flying in at Dow right here. Help, recover. Yeah, that could have been a lot different. Fortunate for Erickson to land right there. I think Erickson's another nice piece. Whew.
One of those players that can eventually wrap up his career and say, I played for both BYU and Utah.
Yeah.
And the dude that understands and embraces his role, right?
No doubt. In fact, I think Craig Smith would take a little more scoring out of him. Speaking of scoring.
And there's Gabe Madsen with 2. Only the second field goal for him in this game, and they're dominating.
But I want to say it again. He played the right way tonight. He's going to have games where he has 14, 15, 18. But those shots have to come within what Craig Smith wants. And he played heavy. He played his minutes tonight. He played really well. 4 assists.
But it was a willingness to haunt good shots, to attack the bucket from the get-go that was the difference for Utah. Great balance with Asar leading the way with 21. And that's the tough shot that he can make when he needed to. Oh, boy. A little bit of a slow burn tonight, but we got to it, Brendan.
So, you know, I mentioned basketball gods periodically. This is a reward.
Yeah.
Now, he can make these, but this is a reward for the way he's played tonight. The decision-making, his defense was better.
But the message probably from Coach Smith, let's have one of those like that at night. Let's not try to make our hay off shots like that. And a lot of the shots have been forced as he's been trying to find his rhythm, because it's been not an isolated struggle. It's now been 7 straight games as they're trying to clean up some blood on the court where Madsen has struggled to find his shot.
And so I think this is part of it as you get another look right there. Look at Sharp jumps right there. I mean, taps it out, keeps the ball alive. And so I say this saying Utah's not capable. They are. And like they were caught completely off guard. But sometimes you have to go through something a time or two to get a feel for it.
Absolutely.
And what I'm talking about is the physical nature of the Big 12. And how it's officiated. And it's officiated, some of the best officials in the country officiate in this league. And so they've learned each game, got a little better against Tech after Baylor, went to Iowa State in Ames and hung tough. And then tonight, they took it to Oklahoma State physically.
Well, I got to get ready in a hurry, because that physicality, it's going to be as physical as you could get against Kelvin Sampson January 21 at Houston. That's really the barometer. If you want to hang with the physicality of the Big 12, if you can hang with those dudes, you belong.
Yeah, Kelvin Sampson always has grown men.
Yes. For Oklahoma State, they'll stay in the area, make that short trip to Provo to take on BYU, then Colorado, and a team in Arizona that, starting to come together. .2. And Utah now will empty the bench. And that is Coach Smith's son, Brady, a sophomore, getting some run here. And the 3 is off the mark for Tyler Caron. And Utah will put a bow on this one. A historic win for the Utah Utes. This will be #1 in the Big 12 as a conference member.
Well, they deserved it tonight. We just alluded to, they were physical from the start. The ball moved great. They played together. They were really connected, and it wasn't just offensively. Defensively, great game plan, utilizing their size, keeping Oklahoma State in front. And then when they did drive it, there were usually a couple of big, long white jerseys in the way to the path of the basket. So a complete ball game, and they took care of it. When Utah takes care of the basketball, they're always going to have a chance to win.
Jerry Huang to the line. This is the first free throw attempt. It's all good. This young man just excited to be on the court for Utah. And that's what happens, right? You take care of your work, all your teammates get a chance to shine. And there's a split at the line. 10 seconds left here. And Utah is victorious in Big 12 play for the first time. A win that Craig Smith will remember for a long time, and a win that puts the rest of the Big 12 on notice. This is a running Utes team that's ready to bang a little bit, Brendan.